That's my dad.
Okay. I'm Tosha Danine with Joe Pro and Taj Mahal at Uncontrolled Substance TV. Tune in.
So, how you doing today?
I am good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you
That's
for
what's up.
having
I'm
me.
definitely glad to have you here. I know you're a very, very busy woman, and so I just wanted to say that we do appreciate having you on, taking just a moment out of your time to come sit with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, that's what's
Glad to
up.
be here.
Yes, that's what's up. And so I do want to start with, your earlier beginnings, and I know that you're from East Orange. Uh, what was your upbringing like?
So a young girl, I had two separate households. I lived with my mom and my dad. My mom lived in the projects. My dad lived in West Bubba Hill.
Okay.
So I had two different um,
Outlooks.
outlooks on being raised.
Okay.
My dad is in the suburbs. My mom is in the hood.
Yeah.
I fought a lot with identity. Like the identity crisis was crazy for me because I had to change up who I was in both settings.
Yeah.
In my mom's house, I could do certain things. I could speak a certain way. I had to be a certain way. I had to be tough. I had to protect myself and defend myself. And when I went to my dad's, it was more like, you need to be an angel, you need to be a lady, you need to speak very well in front of these people because you're not about to embarrass us. So with that, it was like, I had to fight.
Yeah. And so I guess that must have been very, very, difficult to have that duality of, when I'm over Mom Duke's house, I get to just hang back and let it all loose, but then I have to be so proper with Pops.
Yes.
But which one would you say that your personality lended more so towards? Was it like the combination, or was it like, which one would you say was more true to yourself?
I'm gonna say both of them are me.
Yeah.
Both of them shaped me to be who I am now. I know how to defend myself, and I know when to step back and say, "Hey,
Okay.
I can step in a CEO role with the upbringing that I had around my dad's in my dad's home." So it's like both of them are me. If I were to choose, I would choose my dad.
Okay.
Like honestly, before when I was in the household, it was like I want to be with my mom because I get to do more. I get to be free and I get to run wild and all of these things. At my dad's house, it was very calm and structured. Like dinners at 6, and come home from school and you do the dishes and do the laundry. Like I didn't have that kind of structure at my mom's.
And so it kind of seems like you got more so of like the life skills and the management from over your dad's house, and then a lot of that, I guess, free will and carefree attitude kind of came more so from being over your mom's house. So as far as the school, how did you do in school?
I was always a very, very smart kid.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
I was always reading. I was always in my books. That didn't change until I moved back for the last time with my mom. But other than that, I've always been a straight A student, smart as a whip. So it was just different. I learned more, of course, with my dad because I was surrounded by
different school systems and different structure and things like that.
Yeah.
And so what age were you when you finally came back to Mom Duke's house for that last go around?
I think I was 13 when I moved back.
Okay.
I think I was like 13 when I moved back. So I spent my high school years with my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so being a 13-year-old and getting into high school and things of that nature, so I guess when you kind of had to like turn it on and flip that switch, so what was it? Was it like the campus?
Yeah, I was in the campus for my high school, and then I went to alternative school.
Okay. Yeah. And so having to turn that switch on, but you still were able to stay in your books and things of that nature?
The last time, oh no, it was more so. I was running rampant.
Yeah.
It was like I was still smart. Don't get me
Yeah,
wrong. That never changed. Still to this day, I'm smart.
Okay.
But once I got back, it was more like I kind of felt like I had something to prove, maybe.
Yeah.
And then I had a reputation
Chip
for
on your
fighting,
shoulder,
so it was
yeah.
kind of like I wasn't a bully, but I was that girl that you
Yeah.
really don't want a problem
You was
with.
in the mean girl club. Let me find out.
I have never been a mean girl. I
Okay.
have always been the bully who bullied the bullies.
Okay,
So
okay.
you would say I was a bully because how I would
Yeah.
you run around.
So you
people.
stood up for your homegirls who probably
Absolutely.
wasn't,
A lot of-
as capable with fighting or even sticking up for themselves.
Absolutely. Most of the time, the fights were never mine.
Okay.
I was just defending who I love.
Yeah.
My friends.
I know that's right. And so, as far as your friends who you love, do you still have that tight-knit relationship with some of the friends that you went to school with? Or is it kind of like everybody went on their own separate ways and y'all just doing your own
I
thing?
have one friend that I am still to this day, like we're like locked in. We have our times where we kind of have like a little break, but for the most part, we've been locked in since we were 11 or 12.
Yeah. And so I think that's the good thing about friends, because you don't necessarily have to speak to them every day, but when y'all connect, it's like y'all connect.
Yeah.
I have some friends that I came up with, and I got young children, it's kind of hard to really like hang with them, go places with them, but best believe if they call your boy Joe, I'm like, we beating down, and this is just like, nothing ever happened. So I definitely kind of agree with that. But where did you feel like you got your hustler spirit from? Like,
so my mom lived in the projects, so there was nothing but drug dealers around.
Okay.
So all you see walking around is money, money, money.
Money, money, money.
And from a young age, I felt like I learned how to make money because I seen it. Like I always seen it. I used to go ask the drug dealers for money to buy things to sell back to them. Like as a little kid, I would sit outside and I would ask them like, "Hey, can I have $1? Can I have?" And they're not giving us no dollars. They're giving us 5, 10. So I would go to to Western Beef and go ahead, buy me some snacks or whatever. And I had this like little register, and I would sit outside and I would sell it back to them, and they would come back and sell it to them.
And so, is this like Raheem over here? He got 5. Tariq may got 5. Corey, he may got 10 or something, and you just going to go get a whole bag full of goodies.
It's the hustler. It's the hustler spirit. You know that they got the money, and they're gonna give it to you because it's like they don't care. They didn't care about money. They're like, oh yeah, we the kids in the neighborhood, so they always pulling us off something.
Okay.
So it for me, it was like. I seen an older woman. She used to always sell snacks and stuff in the witch room. I'm like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, why can't I?
And so I think that that's a very important dynamic, because since I was younger, like I hustled too, but I can remember my parents putting me into like speedy programs and things like that. So I kind of had both, but you're more so of like that entrepreneur, to where as though like you don't want to go into nobody's job and punch in on no time clock. You just like really have to have your own situation. And so could you speak to that and like what drives you just to get up every day and do things for yourself?
My whole life, I've always felt alone. Like I always felt like it was just me. So with that, it's like I have to figure something out because nobody else is gonna figure it out for me. So I've had to run with that as far as I possibly can. Like nobody else is gonna do it for me. Nobody else can figure this out for me. I have to figure this out. Like I've been coming up with solutions to my problems since I was a little girl and didn't even know that that's what I was doing. Like that's my trauma. Like always figuring it out. Like figuring everything out for myself. So me being a woman now, it's like, okay, I got to figure it out. Nobody's coming to save me.
And so I definitely respect that. But along that journey, did you try to work at certain little jobs? And did you, like, was that how you find out that you knew that you didn't want to be working for anyone? Or was it just like, nah, from the rip, I'm hitting the ground and I'm running?
I tried because that's what was instilled. Everybody around me was like working. Like besides, I'm not gonna put out certain people, but somebody was a drug dealer. Somebody worked. Some people worked. But just having those different dynamics, seeing the freedom of not having to work was kind of like, I kind of enjoyed this, even with being with my dad and not knowing what my friends' parents were doing. They're rich. So it's like, I've always seen a little bit of something, didn't really know, but it was like, okay, maybe working isn't for me. So just seeing that and like navigating and seeing how people treat you in the workplace, I was just like, I don't want to do this. So I've had jobs as like, I think I stopped, my last job probably was like at 18.
Okay.
Or 20. I think I worked at Walmart for probably like a month.
Okay.
Like after 18.
Got like 2 of them
20.
checks, got up out of there.
Got up out of there. Like the manager literally like kicked me after I like passed out, and that was like enough for me, and I never went back. That was the last job that I had, and everything else has been hustle.
And so in December, if I'm not mistaken, you celebrated 4 years of being in business with T. Danine's Luxury Nails.
Yes.
And so how was that journey for the past 4 years of, you being on your own, trying to figure it out, the ups and downs, trying to get your name out there with clientele? Just like, can you speak to that journey and how that has been for you?
That journey was a journey. That's really what put me in the position that I'm in right now. And that came with prayer, with asking God, what direction I was supposed to be in. I started to walk in my entrepreneur path. Like it was just like, you do it or you don't. Yeah. So I just kept going.
And it must be like a really, really hard situation because you got to keep that faith. I know some days probably was much better than others. And then other days, you probably didn't get as much clientele as you may have wanted to. But was this your first business endeavor, like that you tried? Like, was this your first business?
No. I started out, I had an eyelash company at first.
Okay.
And that's where the prayer came into, because it's like, I'm like, this isn't enough.
Okay.
This isn't getting me to where I know I could be. Like, God, what's up? Like $20 lashes, I'm selling, they're selling, but they're not moving how I'm moving with the nails that I'm doing now. So I was just like, something has to give. Yeah. So I definitely started my lash company first, and then I walked into, so I've actually been in business for since 2019.
Okay.
2019.
And that was with the lashes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, man, how was that pivot to know? I mean, I guess the money aspect, obviously, but what led you in that direction of saying, I want to be able to do nails? Okay,
so again, it starts at prayer. Yeah. I asked God, and this is God's honest truth. I was praying, I was crying, and I'm like, God, this can't be what you have for me. Like, please show me what it is that is going to take me to the next level. Show me what it is that you want from me. Yeah. I opened my phone, and the first thing that popped up was nails. I felt it in my spirit that that's what I was supposed to be doing. And from that day on, every day, even with the trials and tribulations that came with it, every day I have like devoted my time to doing nails and becoming better at it.
And so, not to cut you off, but were you self-taught? Like, was that something that you had already been doing at some point in time or another? Or was this like, God gave me the way and I'm just like about to be on YouTube trying to figure out how to do nails?
God put it in my spirit. I started watching YouTubes to learn. I went to one class with somebody, but at that point, I had already started taking clients. It literally took me like 18 days to start getting clients. Like 18 days, I was like already, after like 18 days, I was already moving. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm doing your nails. People were coming to me. People were paying me. People were tipping me. Like it was, and I wasn't even that good. But it was like God really gave me the gift of doing nails.
And so from the outside looking in, you seem to be a pretty popular person. And so was the majority of your clientele at first, was it like friends, or like how did you market that to get those first initial set of customers?
It started out with friends and family, and me being popular and people, hey, let me, do my nails. Like, I like what you did on this person, like do it for me. And then it just got bigger. And the more I promoted it, the more I made moves, the more people seen that I was serious about it.
Yes.
More people came, more people, they may not have liked their nails in the beginning, but they still came and, gave me the experience that
just to support. And then in that time of support, they also were helping you to get better. And then it's like, oh, I like the job that she's doing, and I really like her too. So yeah, that's dope. One hand washes the other, both wash the face, as they say. And I'm kind of also in that same boat because I have a day job, and I also started off by doing video work for my sons. They play sports. I started off recording them, but I always had, visions of wanting to do more, wanting to film different things, different projects. And so I kind of just started putting myself out there, and it's starting to grow now. And, I definitely can attest to what you mean about don't be scared. Just put yourself out there, because a lot of people, they have a lot of talent out here, but they just never actually go out there and do the stuff that God has intended for them.
Absolutely.
And if you don't do the stuff that God has intended for you, then
He's going to take it and give it to somebody
he's going
else.
to take it away from you. You're honestly wasting your time, you're wasting your space, and you're depriving yourself of the things that you could be getting.
Of abundance. Depriving yourself. And I feel like on my journey, I deprived myself of abundance, but I got experience with a lot of things that kind of are like molding me into being the best version of myself, just because I've seen these things, just because I experienced it. So it was like, it may not have been exactly what I'm doing now, but it kind of is helping me on my journey.
To push you
just
in
to
that
push
direction.
Push me to be the best at whatever it is that I'm doing.
So that's a good point. So what are some of the things that you can take from the lash tech business that you were initially doing, and some things that you are able to incorporate now with doing the nails?
Consistency.
Yeah,
being consistent, like showing up, showing people. I really believe, like, if you show people that you're showing up for yourself, people will show up for you.
Yeah.
Like, people will really show up, because when they see like you're being consistent at what you're doing, like, no, I'm making this work. Like, every day you see me, I'm doing something with this. Like, this is what I'm doing. You're gonna see it, and I think people gravitate to that.
Yeah. And I definitely think that is something that everybody out there has to strive for. It's the consistency. If you want to be great, if you want to be this, if you want to be that, you're only going to get there by consistency.
Absolutely.
And so that was a powerful message. I just wanted to reiterate that. But
Absolutely.
I really do admire watching your page, because I also, not only from the business standpoint, but you have like a lot of style. Like, do you have like a stylist or something? Because nah, and you laughing, but I'm dead serious, because like some of these outfits that you be putting together, I'm just like, not that I'm baffled, but I'm like, yo, she really put that together. Those boots are really fly. And I'm gonna show some of these, so the people at home watching can see. But where did you get your sense of style from?
So I am not a stylish person at all.
I can't tell. She is lying.
I
cannot tell.
I am breaking out of my comfort zone and actually getting dressed, because this is something that I stopped doing. Because I went through a phase of depression, and I lost myself. Like, before I became a business owner, I was like, I was going through it. So I lost my sense of style. I lost my sense of self-worth. Like, I just lost it. So lately I've been, telling myself, like, show up as the woman that you want to become. And that's a boss. Like, a boss gets dressed, she throw her shit on, and she steps.
1000%.
So that's what has been inspiring me to get dressed. Like, I shop, but I just shop to have stuff just in case I needed to wear.
Yeah.
So now I'm like pulling out stuff in my closet that I've had for like 2-3 years or just bought because I'm like, oh, okay, I think this will go with this. So I've literally just been winging getting dressed by just like some pieces that I, put together.
A piece here. This piece may be 3 years old and so have you been getting those? Because I saw your face kind of light up a little bit when I just told you that. But
I am not
have you been getting that? Have people been telling you that though?
I think people are more seeing that I'm like evolving and who I'm trying to become because I spoke these words of, I'm going to do this. Like I'm going to be this person that you look up to, this person that you look at and you get inspired. Like I'm going to be that person. Yeah. So I think I don't really hear people say, oh my God, you look so cute. I love this fit or whatever. But it's not like, oh my God. Like I feel like people were expecting that coming out of my mouth and
that level up. They was expecting that level up from you. Okay.
Yeah. Because I express my story a lot on social media to inspire other people. So I feel like people were just like, about time. Yeah. About time.
Yeah. And that's dope because one thing that we do have to try to achieve out here is speaking things into existence. Because if you don't have a plan and you're not really trying to iron out or line out the things that you're trying to do, it's just like basically hopes and wishes, and
absolutely
that's not enough to get these things done.
And winging it is okay.
At some point in time it is, but God has a funny way of telling us that our plans aren't anything, but there is something to having a level of structure and trying to design certain things and trying to go achieve the things that you really want out here.
Yes.
So you did say, about kind of like you were speaking these things into existence and they knew that you were essentially on your ascension to leveling up. Some of the places that you have been when you were in those dark times, can you talk about that as far as like what was some of the mindsets of thinking when you were kind of like in your darkest place?
That I wasn't worthy. I wasn't loved. I didn't deserve to be here. I didn't need to be here.
Okay.
I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't get to the heights that I'm at right now. I couldn't do any of that. So it was like a lot of self-doubt. It was a lot of self-doubt going on, and I had to fight that because I seen God's promise. So I knew the enemy was lying.
1000%.
So even though in my darkest moments, I still had faith. I still had that mustard seed of faith that was going to say, you're going to get out of this. You're going to push through this. Yeah. But it was a dark place.
And so aside from prayer, what are some of the other things that was helping you get from out of that place? What are some things that you could try to tell to encourage the next person when they're in that place to help try to pull them out of that?
Definitely finding people who motivate you. That was a big thing for me. I was listening to Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, Sarah Jakes, and people who inspired me. I looked for them for inspiration to get up. Milano, I was just like, if you have something good to say, I want to hear about it.
Yeah.
So that was finding motivation and then finding something to do with my time.
Yeah. And so, wow, that is definitely inspirational. Do you see yourself as committing to that? Like being like a motivational speaker of some sorts? Or, because I know you do speak on your page, but do you see yourself doing that in a more dedicated time slot?
I do. This right here is my practice. This is my start.
Okay.
Because before this, I was like, I can't go up here and speak to nobody. I'm nervous, but it was hard for me to speak, because I'm a shy person.
Okay.
That's a trauma for me. Me as a kid, nobody really let me talk. So I don't really express myself as well as I would if I wrote it. You know what I mean? Because I was so, headstrong on, okay, if I feel like this, I'm just going to write it
Okay.
out and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it was easier for me to do that. But talking, I felt uncomfortable because everybody
Yeah.
made me feel like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. So this is something that I want to pursue. I want to
Public
do more,
speaking.
Yeah, public speaking.
And so you mentioned writing. So was it poetry that you was into, or like what kind of writing do you do? Is it just like vision boards? Like what are some of the writing things that you are into?
So I am the type of person I do everything. So I can write poetry, I can write a novel, I
Okay.
can write erotica. Like I have like my mind just works so many different ways.
Okay.
And when I get the time, I write whatever it is down just to be
Yeah.
like, okay, it's here. I have it. Like I have like 4 books that I've already started that
Oh, yeah?
have nothing to do with each other.
So they all on.
different things. So I can write just about
And so the 4 books, just to be a little nosy, so they all have different subject matter. So can you just give me, I guess, the plot of one of them?
I don't think I'm ready to
You
do
don't
that.
think you're ready to disclose it just quite yet?
One of them is about dang, I feel like that's gonna be too much because then it's going.
I mean, you could give me a very surface level, answer. It doesn't have to be, all of the details of, the character. Just give me something a little bit about one of the main characters.
Okay, so all right, one of them, it's about loving and being like just trauma bound.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
trying to love and just going through life, fighting depression, trying to love somebody else. You can't do it properly. Yeah.
And so that is a very, very realistic situation for a lot of young people, a lot of old people too. They having traumas that they're holding on to, but they trying to love another person, but they haven't really figured out how to love themselves.
Right.
Love. I did see you had this whole spill about love on your page.
Yeah.
Can you care to share like some of your thoughts on love? Like, because you have some real profound thoughts on love itself and who can do this and what can they give you. So can you just expound on love a little bit?
Okay, so my theory of love, I like, because now since I've gotten more into my Bible, again, I'm not super religious.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah,
I am
okay.
existing in a world and I'm enjoying my human experience. So the way that I look at love is how God loves us.
Okay.
And that is unconditional. I can do wrong 1,000,001 times and God is going to still show me favor.
Yes.
So when I'm trying to love others, I put that in my mind.
Okay.
Am I loving you at my capacity, or am I loving you, or for my human experience where I'm judging you and I think you should be doing it this way and this is how it should be, and am I loving you from that standpoint, or am I loving you from His standpoint?
And so that's a very deep question. Like, I ain't even know we was going to take it there, but do you think it's possible for us in these human vessels to be able to love from His capacity? Like,
I believe we can, but you're going to take the short end of the stick, because not everyone even knows how to love themselves.
Yeah.
And because so many of us don't know how to love ourselves, we don't know how to love other people. We don't even have a good example of what love looks like, because we've strayed so far from what that love looks like, that unconditional love from God. We've strayed so far from that. So nobody really has a good example of what love looks like besides conditions.
and so you're right, because I feel like you can love someone, but soon as they treat you this way, or as soon as they say this thing to you, is like, well, nah, my love is about to switch up on this person, or I'm about to match energy with this person.
Absolutely.
But how could you really match energies with a person if you're saying that you love this person and now you're doing things to intentionally hurt that person? It just doesn't really add up. But my personal thoughts on love is that I feel like we all throw it around entirely too much. A lot of it may be just like,
I call it lust or convenience.
yeah, because I read a passage, my mom, and she's like super religious and heavily into the Bible. But there was one passage that she had me reading, and it was speaking about love and all of the things that love does. And it's like, man, am I even willing to try to go that far and show this person this type of love? Because it's honestly hard.
Absolutely.
It is hard as a human being. And so it's one thing to have an idea what love is, but you in your personal life, have you experienced anything that was close to that or anywhere in the ballpark?
I have been experimenting with loving people at the capacity that God loves me.
Yeah,
I
okay.
have been experimenting, and I don't want to say it to, in a malicious way, but
Yeah.
I had to put myself to the test and say, is this something that I'm able to do?
Yeah.
So I've been experiencing life from, I'm trying to love people for who they are,
Yeah.
at the capacity that they are, and at the capacity that I'm at.
Yeah.
I can love you at a different level, but are you going to be able to be receptive to that?
Yeah.
So I've given these people love that looked like I did whatever it was that I wanted to do, and she still was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't yell, I didn't scream. I
Yeah.
said, you know what? Okay.
And so I guess from that standpoint, it must be, I guess, I don't know if rewarding is the word, but like, so if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly, it seems like, let's say, guy, he does bull junk and you're not like with the, I'm about to be nagging you and doing this and doing that. It's like, all right, go ahead. If that's what you into and that's what you're going to do, brother, go ahead, be my guest. But I guess that goes back to being in a dark place and what's best for your mental sanity and
Yes.
all of that stuff too. And
Yes.
so I guess if we really think about it, like that is like the perfect way to be, like, because you can't really make a person do this or make a person do that. All you can do is control what you can control. And
Absolutely.
so I definitely think that that's a way to be. But man, if women out there, I'm not going to just put it on women, but if men out there also would just like stop, is the word nagging? I don't know. Like, but it seemed like you're not really too much into the nag
I'm not.
stage of your life.
I am so like,
But you're a successful businesswoman. Like, how do you even have time to practice this love that you seek?
I have, my time. I don't have enough time to love at the capacity that I can. Of course, I'm not a mom yet, so I have
Okay.
not learned to love at that capacity yet, which is a different type of, love. But I have time to, be in relationships, be in multiple relationships
Okay.
with multiple people.
Yeah.
I have the time. We all
Okay.
have the time.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
24
yeah.
hours in a day.
1000%.
So I have the time to experience, and sometimes I take a season to say, if I'm dealing with somebody and I'm like, all right, cool, like we can rock out. I don't know where it's gonna go,
Yeah.
but I'm willing to, take time to experience that.
And so what's your, I guess, the way that you look at things now, like, is it disappointing at all?
Absolutely.
To
The
not-
worst. It's the worst. Oh my God. I am exhausted.
Yeah.
It's exhausting because you have that just as much as faith as that mustard seed. You have it when you want love. So you
Yeah.
have that hope that somebody's going to come in and do right by you.
Yeah.
Because it's like I'm giving so much, like I'm coming in. You
Yeah.
see how close to perfect, and I like to say close to perfect because I don't do everything everybody else do. I think differently. I do
Okay.
things differently. After everything that I've been through, I should be a bitch. Okay,
Yeah.
I should be the worst type of female out here, but
Yeah.
that's not who I am.
You definitely seem really, really down to earth. And so being as though that you're in your boss phase, could a guy take you to the Cheesecake Factory if he was, if it was somebody that you was interested in? And I don't know, this was a question that was floating around on social media, months and months ago.
gosh.
But I just want to present it to you because you are in your boss status and you're leveled up. And so if there was a love interest, I'm not even going to say a love interest. If there was a guy that you just recently kind of started dating and he was like, I want to take you out and this, that, and the third, and, he took you to the place. Is it kind of like, nah, I'm not really feeling that place. We can't go there.
If I have a favorite food to eat at any place, I don't care if it's McDonald's.
Yeah.
If I like you, I'm going wherever it is that you want to go.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, I like to eat. I like what I like. I'm not pressed about a cheesecake factory. I don't eat I'm not really eating McDonald's and Wendy's all the time. So of course you take me to McDonald's and Wendy's, like that's a date, I'm gonna look at you like you crazy.
Yeah.
I go to expensive restaurants on my own time just for me to just sit there and just lollygag and
So
eat.
you take yourself on dates?
I definitely take myself on expensive dates.
Okay.
I don't think anybody takes me on more expensive dates than I take myself. And that's okay.
Okay.
I don't push that on anybody. Whatever you feel you can do, that's fine with me. I'm used to doing everything on my own. So what you come with is, I'm appreciative.
And so I do want to ask you a question because I was having a conversation with the missus and she was saying that she doesn't feel like in this era women are really getting approached. And I guess my answer to that was kind of that I'm from the era of where we ran down. Like if we saw something that was nice or we was interested, we would approach the woman, we would step to them. Now I feel like in this day and age of social media, people are doing so much of the online messaging, the inboxing is going down in the DM, this, that, and the third. And we kind of, as a society, a little bit got away from just like the approaching a woman.
Yes, being hunted
in a place.
Yes.
We kind of got away from that. But do you feel like when you're out and about, do you feel like you are being approached?
I feel like I get approached, but it's not in a way that I respect it. It's more so like, do you think that's okay?
So it's like the little young boys is like, yo, or
just saying like
you look good, or like
just like distasteful. Like even though I'm in an environment where it's like people who aren't on my level mentally are, but if that doesn't, that doesn't mean anything. Me, I'm a free person. So you looking at it one way and I'm like, I don't care about that. So I just feel like the approach is more, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to say. They don't know how to hunt. So me, I'm used to dating older men. So I know about being hunted. So when you approaching me, I'm just like, what are you even saying to me right now?
But I think like with the internet, the MySpaces, the America Onlines, Black Planets, all that stuff, it kind of like changed the game.
People aren't being themselves. And it's like, if you don't realize that people aren't being themselves, you get tricked, and now it's like a whole different other story. Like that's what I mean. Like online, people were hit me up asking me crazy stuff. Like, and it's just like, if you wanted my attention, I don't think that's how you go about it. Like, treat me like a woman. Like treat me like a lady.
1000%.
Like have some respect. I'm going to respect that. It doesn't matter where you're trying to take me. The fact that you came at me with respect is going to be like, you know what? I'll give them a chance.
That stands out a little bit more.
That stands out from other people. Like, damn, your ass fat. Like, what? Or you so damn pretty. Or like, how? It's just.
But do you kind of feel like it's the music too though? And so I think there is a double standard to that too. And I'm going to back away from the music conversation. But when you see, like women online and they may have they ass hanging out, and so. I'm not saying that gives you a license just to be saying anything you want to her, but I do think that some people, I guess it comes with a level of maturity, but like, I feel like if you saying that, it's like, yo, I probably could bag her easy or, but like you said, sometimes you gotta kind of like come with a level of magic tricks or magicianry or something. It's like, you gotta have some type of game to you or something.
Some type of game. Just at least. it could be corny, like it could be corny, like, just make me feel special. Like, just make me feel like, all right, I like you, like, or just be honest and come forward. Like, hey, listen, I want to take you out. I think you're beautiful. That you sexy as shit. I don't want to hear that. I know that. You know how many people told me that today?
Yeah.
I don't want to keep hearing that. That I'm more than that. Like, it's more to me than my appearance. Like, I'm a dope female. I'm a dope woman. So it's like, do you see all the stuff that I talk about? Talk to me about something like that.
Having like a multi-layered personality, and I guess like having guys that's kind of maybe not really seeing that. Is it like, man, y'all dudes is on some bull junk. I'm about to go get me a shorty or something. Like, how do you feel? Like,
I don't go that far.
You ain't going that far with it?
If I'm going that far, it's me, him, and her. But it's never going to as far that I'm going to leave a man alone. I am sorry.
Okay.
I'm not looking to be with a woman just because a man isn't treating me right. Like I said, that mustard seed. I have faith that there is going to be a man who matches my love.
Yeah.
So I don't, love isn't that, I love me. Yeah. So I'm not looking for love that much where I'm just trying to do anything just to get it.
Exactly.
I love me enough. I have my days where I'm just like, damn, it's really not happening.
Yeah.
Not yet. So I go through that. I experience those type of emotions where I'm like, damn, like it's really not happening. But nothing ever says to me, go get a stud because she's gonna treat you right. Nothing says that.
The studs is just
Nothing
not.
says that. I heard they out here doing their big one, but listen.
Not for you.
I need a man.
Okay. Yeah.
I need a man.
And so I do want to touch back a little bit on the business aspect. That freedom that running your business has, because you were kind of like not only based in Jersey for a little while. Yeah. So is that run kind of over? Is just like you're stationed here now? Or is it kind of like on a whim I could go back? Or do you feel like your business is attached to New Jersey? Or do you feel like you nationwide with it?
I feel like right now I'm here in Jersey. I do have people who want me to come to other cities.
Okay.
But for me right now, I'm stable here in Jersey. So I had to make a decision because I just was trying to move to North Carolina because, I have people out in North Carolina. That's where I'm licensed out of. My mentor or whatever, that's where I went to school. So I have connections in North Carolina. So I was like, you know what, maybe I should just do it. But it wasn't working for me like it's working here. Like people literally, when I came back, people were like, all right, I'm coming. Next thing I know, I'm fully booked and it's been, 3 years and I'm still booked.
And so was it that in North Carolina, because they building North Carolina up, because I got a lot of family that's down in that area as well. And so they definitely building it up. But is it just from, not to disrespect it, is it from like it being a country aspect? It's not as populated? Like what is it that about Jersey that just had your business booming?
I want to say, for one, people know who I am here. Okay. And because I run my mouth. Yeah. Hey, I do nails. Yeah. I let other people work for me at times. So sometimes if my business isn't booming, I'll make it to where as though, you know what? There's going to be at least 15 people that's going to share this. So now they're doing the work for me.
Word of mouth.
So the word of mouth is important. So I put myself in positions like that. So that I believe that's why I'm excelling in that area. I haven't even been doing it lately, but I'm, just kind of getting comfortable with being super duper busy. Yeah. I'm trying to, be comfortable.
And so with the super duper busy aspect, like how do you balance when it's like, man, I need to just let my head down. I need to go chill. I'm about to go get my homegirl that I was cool with since we was 12 and we about to go do this or do that. Like how do you kick back and just decompress from it all?
I have learned to take more days off.
Okay.
So I try to only work 18 days a month.
Okay.
That's like golden for me. Like I can make a decent amount if I just work 18 days. So I'm like kind of like strategic on how I make my money, but outside of taking the days off, I kind of take my days to where as though I just rest.
Okay.
I will literally lay in bed all day, rest, won't do a thing.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that I'm coming from a life where it was always survival. So now that I'm taking myself out of survival and I literally can only work 18 days, I have to take those other days and say, I can rest.
Yeah.
I worked enough.
Yeah.
Let me rest.
Okay.
So I am big on taking rest instead of working 28, 30 days, 31 days out of the month. I'm going to rest.
And so, like, is rest like the main part of it? Because I guess I'm trying to, get a little bit into the thoughts of you and like, what are you doing? Because we all have an outlet. And so if rest is your outlet and that's it, and it's just like, all right, I'm at work or I rest, then that's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get a little bit deeper to see like, what is it that puts a smile on your face when you're not, making money, doing the nails? Like, what is it that you're doing? I know eating is one of them, but like, what is it that you're kind of doing?
I pretty much because I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning what I like. I'm learning to be this new version of myself. So everything doesn't look the same every single time. So I may say rest, and then it might be, I'm going to the park every day that I work, or I'm reading a book every day that I work, or I'm taking a walk. I don't know. I'm figuring out what it is that my body needs. Some days it's for me to lay in bed for a whole day.
Yeah.
Some days it's for me to get up, take a bath, sit there, relax for an hour or two or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to give you my regimen when I really just go off what I need in that moment.
In that moment.
That moment. Because that's pretty much what I do. I listen to what my body's saying. Like my body's saying, hey, you ain't been outside in a while. You need to go outside. You need to go do something. You need to move your body.
And so, do you have your passport?
No, I don't. I don't know why I keep.
And so, Miss Boss, like, what's going on with that?
What's going on? How do I not have a passport? I keep saying I'm gonna go get it. I'm gonna order it.
Yeah.
But to me, honestly, I know how to create peace within my energy field. So I don't really need to go somewhere to get the peace that I'm looking for, that everybody else is looking for somewhere else. I create that at my home.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not a you have to do it. You have to do it. I want to do it because I like scenery.
Yeah.
So of course I want to do that, but it's not I have to do this tomorrow or the world's gonna end.
And so what I will say is that like peace or happiness or whatever you're looking for, you're not going to find that with no external shit.
No.
You're basically going to find that within you. Absolutely. But what I will say, for a person who likes to have fun, as I'm sure you do, a person who likes to eat, when you go in abroad and when you go into some of these places, the food is just so much better than it is here.
I've heard.
It's like the freshness of it. I don't know. I've been to a couple of places. I got my passport. She was my girlfriend and my wife now. When I came home in 2011, she was like, look, you're home now, you ain't on no papers. Get your passport. And she took me out of the country for my first time. And it was a pleasant experience because up until that point, I hadn't been nowhere. Like, where we went to Jones Beach, we went to Atlantic City, and we went to Howard. These were places that, it's fun things to do, but I just feel like as a person, a man or a woman, you should get out and try to see the world because the world, a lot of times we only think that the world is these four corners of the block that we may live on. And just to see different cultures, different experiences. And so I went to it was like Caribbean places, kind of like Spanish speaking places. But moving forward, like I would like to go to Africa. I want to see how it is out there. Because I know they got some real dope places out there that I just never been to. But yeah, I would suggest to anybody, if they can, yeah, just try to get on a plane and go somewhere.
Yeah. See, I've traveled in the States. I've been to a lot of states.
Yeah.
So I know, like, I've seen different cultures in, different areas that a town that you would never even expect to go.
Yeah.
I've experienced that in the States. So for me, it's not, out of the country is really like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big on your to-do list.
Yeah, because I've experienced so many other things. I'm a people person, so I just go up to people. You speak a different language. Hey, what are you saying? Like, I'm that type of person. So for me, in the States, I've got to experience culture.
Yeah.
Different culture, different cities, different states. I've got to experience that. But of course, I still want to go out of the country. Yeah. And I am.
I think it'll be a good experience for you. Yeah. And, it'll happen on your own time and on your own time. And maybe once that love is reciprocated to you and, you and your boo, y'all can go somewhere and, go let it all hang out.
If he's listening, come get me. Come get me. I'm ready.
I know that's right. I definitely know that's right.
I'm ready.
I want to take it back a little bit.
Okay.
If possible. And so I remember after coming home not long, I heard that you were kind of facing some troubles and you kind of had got jammed up a little bit. And, luckily all of that is behind you now. Mm-hmm. But how was that experience? Because it wasn't local. Like, I've been arrested and I've been like the Northern State, Annandale, Bayside. These are New Jersey penitentiaries, but you actually did a little bit of time in a place that wasn't New Jersey. Yeah. So, how was that experience for you?
First of all, it was cold as hell up there.
Yeah.
In the jail.
Okay.
I was locked up in county in Wisconsin for 11 months. Oh, Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was in 3 different jails in Wisconsin.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went to 3 different jails in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. All of them freezing. But I was locked up for scamming.
Okay.
And I got caught up in Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. And I had to do some time.
And so when I think of Wisconsin, I'm like, damn, you must have been moving and shaking out here, because Wisconsin, I feel like if I was to open a map up, where the hell is Wisconsin? I know where it is, but I feel like I wouldn't have had no business in Wisconsin. Do they look like us up there, or is that
So there is certain areas. So Wisconsin is close to Chicago.
Okay.
So you have to go through Chicago to get to Wisconsin.
Okay.
So there are areas in Wisconsin, like Milwaukee, that is a urban area.
Okay, yeah.
Outside of that, I believe there's another town maybe, but for the most part, it's not us. But
they're not like us.
Yeah, no. Okay.
No.
So there are our people up there, but where I was, I stuck out like a sore thumb, and that's why I got.
Yeah, I could imagine. I could imagine you coming through doing what you're doing. They like, hold up, she don't walk like us, she don't look like us, she don't talk like us. Let's see what she's up to.
Right.
And so, I know that situation had to be really traumatic for you. Did you have the support of your loved ones during that time?
I did. It wasn't to the extent that I felt.
Yeah.
I
want it.
I want it.
Yeah.
But my family was there for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. And I'll speak to that, because there were things that, and I guess because I'm a lot more mature now and I can see, but when I was younger, coming in and out of jail, I wanted my family to do certain things. Yeah. They didn't do that, but I also felt like I still got that love from them. But I do understand, I'm not coming from a mad standpoint of, damn, y'all didn't come see me this time or didn't come see me that time. Because one thing that, the guy who raised me, my cousin, he always told me that if I get locked up, they not coming to see me. They not coming to get me. And so that always kind of stuck out in the back of my mind.
Right.
And so I guess I kind of had a different outlook going in because I knew that nobody wasn't coming to get me.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people that I heard, you know, probably beating down on a bunk, they was like, yeah, my sister ain't doing this or my brother ain't doing this. But it's not even really taking the accountability to say like, damn, what was you doing when you was out there? What kind of person were you being when you out there? And so, yeah, I just look at it a little bit differently. My mom, she did come see me when I was in Northern, but yeah, I didn't even really like that. I think I cried like a baby after she left because I didn't want her to even be in there coming to see me like that.
Right.
And, you know, I just tell anybody who's going through it to, you know, try to do better. And I know it sounds like I'm, you know, preaching on a post and stuff like that, but a lot of people passed away when I was locked up, and I just never really got a chance to speak to them, tell them how much I love them, friends. And I just think that it's, how can I say it? It's like, it's a one-way path, like to death and destruction.
Yeah.
And so I definitely have a different outlook on it. And I just wanted to just try to, you know, pick your brain a little bit about it. I know that you're, you know, so far removed from that, and I hate to even talk about it, but I do feel like there's someone out here who can possibly learn from your story and gain something from it. So that's why I asked you.
Yeah. Crime is easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to do the wrong thing. It's even harder to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I found a lifestyle that got me accustomed to a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And the money was so good that I just wanted to be in it. But had I understood that I am talented and I can do all things, like I wouldn't have went down that road. It was like I really felt like those were my only options because I wasn't really into working. I was always into hustling. So I've never really been, you know, structured to work. So it was like, okay, you know, you go out here and you get it. You making money, you know, you floss, you boss up, you know, you drive the cars, you get the nice crib, you get the furniture, the clothes and everything. And I thought that was life.
Yeah.
But learning after experiencing that, it's like nobody's gonna be writing you every day.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be answering that phone all the day. It costs to be in there. So the money is going crazy if you're on the phone all day. It's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. And I wish I had more people around me who pulled my coattail and told me to do better. I had people, but they weren't speaking to me. It was just like, oh no, you could do better. It wasn't telling me like, no, like, do you see how you can navigate in a crowd, or you see how you can get all of these people to follow you and do what it is that you're doing? Like, do you see the influence that you have on people? Had someone showed me how to get to me, life for me would have went differently.
And so that is a really good point that you make. It's like, damn, I wish I could have had someone to hold this mirror up to me to show me. Like that, like when you think about that concept, like that is very deep. And so how do you pay that part forward?
Tap into yourself. Learn, because the information about who we are, how to get to us, you got to read about it. Because that's how I learned, you know, reading your Bible, you know, not saying, you know, I don't read the Bible to become judgmental. I read the Bible to understand myself, because God lives within me. So in order for me to understand him, or understand myself, I have to understand him.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go to the Bible for that. Like I wish, somebody was pushing religion a little bit more on me too.
Yeah.
Because then I would have got to see like, oh, okay, this is what this means. This is kind of like how I should live life, or take this from this or this passage. So I would say reading.
With, I guess, your newfound look into, the Bible and religion, like, were there times where you didn't even accept that message? Was it just like you wasn't even receptive to it?
Everybody thought I was an atheist.
Yeah.
I was just like, God is not real. Jesus is not real.
Yeah.
I was going off. I was on my spiritual journey, and I didn't really know much about the Bible.
Okay.
And I'm going to say still to this day, I don't know everything
Of
about
course.
the Bible. I don't know everything.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I'm still interested in understanding more.
Yes.
So I was just walking around here like, no, I'm the God. It's me.
Yeah.
I'm a king. I mean, you're a king. I'm a queen, and I'm black, so everything comes from us, and just because people were telling me these things. But finding myself was my eye opener.
Okay.
With me reading and understanding the different religions and how they, pertain to the being of who we are. Like, forget who you are through your trauma, but who we are from cells and DNA and molecular structure. Like, that's what I needed to see for me to get an understanding.
And so, but what was that aha moment though?
I don't even remember what the aha moment. I knew I was in a relationship, and I knew my ex-boyfriend was like kind of like getting me to like kind of put the mirror in my face. And this was like right after I came home. So he was just kind of like getting me to see life differently through spirituality and teaching me about how energy works. So I guess that was the aha moment, learning energy, learning how that works and how your emotions are up and down because of what you're eating and what you're seeing, what you're feeding your mind and the people that you're around. So that relationship kind of molded me to learning about self.
Okay.
So once he started to, coach me on that, it kind of allowed me to take it a little bit further and start understanding more and more and more and more.
Okay. And so, man, it's good that he was able to turn you on, but like, so what happened with the guy? Like, he just disappeared? He just dropped off the face of the earth? What happened?
So, at the time, me and him had been going back and forth for years. Like I think by the time we got in a relationship, probably was like 7-8 years later.
Okay.
And he ended up being in jail. So I was in jail first. I used to call him, everything.
Okay.
We had a friendship. Like we were.
Hold on. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the original Pat and Remy. And so, so Remy, in this case, was up in Wisconsin, and she was, banging this man line. She came home, he got knocked, and then, I'm sorry for cutting you off. What happened next?
It's okay. So he ended up going to jail, and before he went to jail, I just told him, and we were thinking that he was going to do like 8 years, and I was like, as a friend, I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Not as a wife, a girlfriend, but as a friend, I'll be there for you.
So you put that disclaimer out there early, like, look.
Yeah, I had already let him know, like, as your friend, like, if you need me, I'm here. Like,
that's respectable though.
Yeah.
That's dope.
So he went to jail, and at the time I was like, I had left him alone actually. Like I told him, because we understood that we were at 2 different levels. He was somewhere, and I still was fighting who I was, like strong, and I was crazy then. So it was like, I will put my hands on you, and he knew I would put my hands on him. So he was like, you crazy.
Yeah.
I knew I was crazy. So I was just like, all right, cool. We gonna back up. In that time frame, he ended up going to jail. And he hit me up, and he was like, I'm in there, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I'll put money on my phone, whatever. We're talking. And then it was like one day, it was kind of like, I like you. I love you. I like you and love you a lot.
Yeah.
For the both of us. It just like kind of like clicked. And I tell everybody that relationship was my most influential relationship, and I respect and love that man to death. Like I don't like him, but I love him. Because he did a lot for me in that relationship. He brought me this person. He was telling me about this person then
long ago,
and that was in 2018.
So he was pouring into you.
He was definitely pouring into me. And what happened is, because we try to live out this ideal fantasy of what we want our lives to look like for the both of us. It was the both of us. I have what I want my life to look like. He has what he wants his life to look like. But we're also fighting to be perfect. We're fighting to have this perfect life together. And when it doesn't align with what we're doing, it's just like it doesn't make sense. So we were both fighting each other on how to love each other the way that we needed to love each other, not understanding that we could have been loving each other for where we were and growing. But because we're so trauma filled, you know, it's like, I'll leave. That's my favorite thing to do. I'll
getting
leave.
up out of there.
I'm getting up out of here. I'm not about to keep going back and forth with you. I don't like to argue. I've never been a female that argues, so I don't like confrontation because I get upset and it makes me angry and then I want to fight. So I don't do arguing.
So that's like kind of like the second time that you referenced either beating this man up, and I'm not talking about him specifically, but just a man in general or wanting to fight. And so was that something that you was heavily into? Like you just like
beating on my men? Absolutely. I have been a man beater, yes.
You a man beater?
I was. I'm not anymore. I refrain from putting my hands on these men. I try not to. I do my best. That's one thing when I'm dealing with somebody. If it's going to emasculate him, that's like the furthest thing from my mind for one, and that's something that I never want to do to a man again. Because I know what it looks like to have a woman just sitting there beating your ass. Like that's crazy. Like I feel like that's the worst thing as a woman you can do besides spitting back what he confided in you about. So I do my best not to do that.
And so I'm glad you stepped away from that, because that's not. I mean, we all have our, I guess, things that we do, but in general, it's not good to be fighting.
Yeah, no, so, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's not where we at with it. But well, there you have it. Uncontrolled Substance TV. We are signing off with Miss Danine, one of the top. I'm not even going to say New Jersey. She is one of the top nail designers in the country. Holla at her and get your nails did.
Dream big.
You heard me? So, one thing that I didn't get into, you did have like a poly history. And so, how were you first introduced into that lifestyle? Because that was like a hot button topic over the past several months on social media and everything. So was that part of the reason that influenced you to get into that, or how kind of like was that?
Before it hit social media, that was already something that I was like kind of like dibbling and dabbling in. Like I personally was only dating men who had women. That was a thing. I never knew that there was a community of people who actually thought the way that I thought. Like I always felt like men aren't monogamous. Like they like multiple women. Me personally, I like multiple relationships. Like it wasn't that they have to be sexual. It was just like I like to be in different scenarios with different people, not because of one reason. It's just like I like to experience people. Like I may like you. I may just like spending time with you. I may just like laying next to you and just rubbing on your ear, and that's just the experience that we have every time we're together. And that's cool enough for me, but I want to be able to do that. So when it came out with everybody online, like, I'm poly. A lot of people only are in this because it's like I get to have my cake and eat it too. I can't say I've ever really been in a actual poly relationship where it's successful, where everybody's like cohabitating together. Like, I haven't experienced that. I actually would like to experience it just so I know if it's something that I actually want for my life. I'm not sure.
And so how far were you able to, I guess, indulge in that side of it? Like, so if you're not cohabitating, so how poly actually is it?
So it's more so I would identify, because everybody got to identify, as polyamorous with multiple relationships. So the poly is like, you know, it's so many different breakdowns of it.
So quick question. So it's not that you had a dude and y'all had a girl, but it was just the knowledge of, look, you my dude, but I got this dude over here too.
Yeah.
And I may have this dude over here too. So is that more so like your line of thinking and with it?
Yeah. So I don't like to lie. So I tell my men, like, yeah, I'm seeing somebody else. I have somebody, you know, however that makes you feel, cool. But this is my dynamic.
And so are they accepting of that type of stuff? Or like how? Because I could imagine, like, if I really like a girl, and I guess in my younger years, I probably wanted to be ripping and running and doing everything that I had to do. But if she honestly was like, well, look, you got this one and this one, I got this one over here too. Like, I don't know. It's just like the thought of like her getting her shit beat in, like, I don't know how I would feel about that. I feel like dudes are poly until they find out like they lady got to be getting, you know what I mean, done in. And so like,
that's usually how it goes, and that's why it doesn't work out for me because they get jealous. So once I tell them like, hey, I got some of them, they'll be cool because they have other situations, and I make it clear like you have something going on. There's no need for you to be stressing me out over what I'm doing, and you're over here doing this. So it's like they be mad, but then it's like they don't want to leave me alone or stop dealing with me. So it's just like, all right, I'll just deal with it until, you know, I can't no more. Which they end up not, and then I go back to being
and so
a monogamous situation.
With your poly relationships that you have had in the past, has there ever been some mixing up going on to where as though it's like you may bring in a woman to that situation, or he may try to bring in a woman to that situation, or like how does that part work?
I feel like in certain situations we call it one thing, but it's really that's the dynamic. So polyamorous is probably like how I've always lived my life. So I'm gonna say sometimes it doesn't even get to as far as once I make it known that that's where I'm at.
It's too much for them to handle and they back off?
Yeah, for the most part. Because they're like, what? You know, they'll still, you know, talk to me or whatever, but it's not, they want to really like pursue me because they be like, yo, you want some bullshit. You know.
And so, because I've always heard that, and this is a disclaimer, I probably shouldn't even be saying this, but like I never actually had a threesome. And so like, I've always heard that it kind of is awkward. Nah, how can I say it? Like, I guess there's an awkwardness to it as far as maybe showing too much attention to this person, or maybe this person getting a little bit jealous. Like, have you experienced that part of it?
I have definitely experienced a terrible threesome. It was my boyfriend at the time. We were like on the outs, and it was like a girl that he was kind of friends with her friends or whatever. It's like they knew each other, mutual friends or whatever. And I kind of like liked her, you know, and I was just like, you want to come home with me or whatever. So we had a threesome, and in the midst of the threesome, I'm very intuitive. In the midst of the threesome, I was like, are you fucking her without a condom right now? I swear to God.
So it was you.
It was me. It was totally me, but it was just
Miss
like
Big Bad Tasha was the one hold on.
It was me, and I was just like, don't disrespect me like that. And then he was like, how the fuck did you know that? He pulled out and
But how are you not going to know that though?
What, that it would, he put a condom on.
No,
but the condom broke.
no, he's saying that. How did you know that? And I'm like,
well,
shit. If we all in the same place and we getting right, how I'm not gonna know?
I don't know how I knew that. I still to this day, it's just like I felt.
Oh, it was like a gut intuition. It was
like an intuition, and I was just saying. He looked at me like she looked at me, and I was just like, but I freaked out because I was just.
So was it one of the moves where it's though like he hit and then he just slipped off? Well, you said it broke.
Like it broke.
Wow.
He knew.
Yeah, because you know the difference between some condom cheeks and some bareback cheeks. Like you know the difference.
He knew. But nobody, well, they probably, I wouldn't have known because I wasn't the receiver at the time.
And I feel like also in this day and age, like we all got to go to the clinic. We all got to show our my charts and shit. Like it's like, I don't know, like it's a different era now. And I also feel like I would want to kind of be up in their skins. Like, I don't know if I want to be having a threesome with condoms on. Like, I don't know. That's just me, but... maybe I'm wilding for that
like,
though.
If it's a wild night, there's going to be a lot of condoms being used.
Yeah,
that's the But normally it's like one person, the couple is like they cool, but the outside person is. Like,
I mean, obviously, but I don't know. I feel like that's where you got to do your scouting and your research because like, we need to see these results. Like, we need to. I don't know.
Threesomes are weird now. Like I kind of like be a little because people, you just. Strange out here these days. People having sex with the same sex, different sex, animals, cartoons. Like you never know what's going on. So it's like right now, I just kind of be
And so
strange world out here.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more. But I don't even really know if it's a lot more, or is it just being broadcast a lot more now?
I think it's more so broadcast. I feel like STDs and everything has been here for the longest, but it wasn't as vocalized in the community. Yeah. And now with social media, everybody making jokes about it, and
And it's funny because, so like, I could literally be scrolling on Instagram, and I could see a chick. And it's like, oh, all right, she cool. Like, she may be like a content creator. She may be kind of like funny. And you see the same person on Twitter or something. It's like, yo, on Twitter, like, she's getting fucked on her page. Like, it's really...
Twitter is a wild place.
Yeah, Twitter is like a wild place. But I guess it's like people kind of have no shame with it. It's like, this is what I am and this is what I'm doing. It's like certain platforms are just for certain things. Like, and I had sent this picture because it was this girl. I think her name is Funny Ass Jess or something like that. And so my cousin and I, we be sending like little funny memes or we send little things back and forth to each other. And so she had made this joke and she was on Instagram and I sent them the picture like, yeah, look at Shorty, she dark skinned.
I know what you're talking about. Short hair.
Exactly. And I'm like, yo, she funny as hell, this, that, and the third. And she like, man, that girl, she's a soul eater or something. I'm like, what are you talking about? A soul eater, like she off her content creation shit. And here, I guess I'm all naive. Bruh, he done sent me the link to the Twitter. I'm like, oh yeah, she is crazy, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, how do you feel about, I guess, this day and age, just people just expressing themselves and just doing what they off of and I guess that nature?
I feel like the porn population has gotten bigger.
Yeah.
Porn, everybody is, on Twitter acting foolish or, all these platforms.
He's an acting foolish.
It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Now, if so happened it got leaked with me, that's not my job. I'm just out here fucking. Like, it's not just like I'm out here, this is my day job and I'm getting, this is me living a regular life, having sex, and hey, it was a recording made. Cool. That's different from
putting it out intentionally for it to be seen by the masses.
Yes.
And so,
I'm not here for porn. I'm not a porn watcher, so I'm just like, for me, sometimes I be seeing some stuff and I'm like, well, okay.
Yeah.
But for everybody who like really is like focused, like to be like they have to get off on it.
Yeah.
Like I just feel
It's
like
just not your thing.
It's just not my thing, and I
Yeah.
just feel like, come on, like
Yeah.
all this out here, and y'all,
Yeah.
y'all can't do nothing but this.
And so, I don't know. I oftentimes wonder, I'm just like, y'all are leaving a digital footprint online, and at some point in time, like I know that everybody is so carefree and happy now,
Yeah.
but like,
There's a future out ahead.
yeah, like, do you not care? Like, are you gonna have children, and those children are one day gonna be online, and they just like, yo, mom, you was wilding, like,
Yeah.
and so I don't know, but I guess we in the bag culture, so everybody just really
do anything for money.
Yeah, everybody just want the bag.
That's a sad part, and I'm glad that I no longer do it for the bag.
Yeah.
Even though I probably would never have. I have morals, and my family don't play that shit.
Yeah.
So I would never even think to make that a thing. But
Yeah.
most I did was being a stripper, and they were pissed
They was
about
pissed
that.
by that. How long did that career last for you?
I danced for like 10 years.
Okay.
8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I danced.
And so, with the lifestyle, or was it the nightlife that was like,
It was the money.
yeah,
It was the money. I hated what I did. I'm very uncomfortable with people touching me.
Yeah.
So that was very, very uncomfortable. I had to drink to get through the nights. Like had to do ecstasy to get through the nights.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't like it, but I'm making money. I'm able to provide for myself. I'm able to take care of all the things that I need to take care of. Like,
Okay.
So it's always about the money with me, but there's certain things that I'm not willing to do.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, I'm not willing to sacrifice and just do anything just for the sake of money.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you definitely got to that and gave me your opinion on that. There is one thing that I do want to touch back on, and this was when you started your business. How did COVID, because your business is very, very people friendly, like you have to be out and literally touch the people to get the money.
Right.
So like, how did COVID affect your business, or did it give you new ways to hustle? Like how was that?
COVID was the pivotal moment in my entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Because it showed me that I can. So when COVID happened, I had the lash company. I had just came home from jail.
Okay.
So I had already started to, get my lashes off the ground. I'm tagging people. I'm sending them out to people, to influencers.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my name out. So COVID happened, and I realized the girls needed to be pretty.
Yeah.
I ate.
You ate.
I ate something serious during COVID.
Yeah.
I was just back and forth buying products, selling them, getting them out, buying them back, selling. So COVID helped me. That really like jump started.
So that was the jump spark.
That was the spark.
Boosted you up.
That was the spark.
Okay. And so I guess in closing, because it's been a really, really lovely conversation, and we spoke on a wide range of topics.
Yes.
Is there something that you would like to let the people know? Or let me say this. If you could speak to the younger you, what would you tell yourself in order to help you when those days was dark, in order to be that shining light to help you get through some of those times? Like, what would you tell yourself if you could have the opportunity?
All your dreams will come true, but don't ever stop dreaming big. Dream the biggest and go after it.
Go after it.
Don't matter how long it takes,
Yeah.
keep going after it. That's what I would tell my younger self. Dream big.
Keep going after it.
Keep going after it.
Gotta hear, folks. And so, is there a way that they can reach out for, because I know you did say, don't be hitting me at no 2 a.m. for no nail appointment. So I did hear you say that, but
Don't call me at no 2 a.m., 1 a.m. talking
Is
about.
there a way that the people can reach out to get their nails done? Because your set is beautiful, by the way. I don't know if they can see that, if it even pick up on
I
camera.
didn't do this, but my homegirl does it, and we all do the same line of work.
Okay. And so how could they reach out if they wanted an appointment?
So my Instagram for my nail page is t.danine's luxury nails.
Okay.
t.danines.nails_ Yeah.
That's a whole lot, but you don't worry about it. I have that on the bottom of the screen in the corner.
So yeah, that's my my Instagram for my business page. So business hours 9 to 8.
9 to 8. 9 in the morning to 8 at night, and then it's a wrap. You can't get your nails done.
you
Definitely don't be thinking about no 2 in the morning.
Not no 2
hitting
in the
me
morning.
up for some nails.
Talking about, can I get an appointment? Girl, if you don't go to sleep, your ass out of here.
Take it down.
Go to sleep, baby. It's time to go to bed.